to Wolves 2. And will we ever win again? Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Good morning, good evening, or good night. I hope you guys are doing well. And as Ant just said beforehand, let's just get this out of the way, man, because that's really how it's feeling. Hope you guys in the chat are doing well, and welcome to another episode. As always, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you are new. And I think there's only one place we can start, because he doesn't even know I'm about to hit him with this one. Boys, you will remember, and chat, you will hold him to account for this. Someone said about a week and a half ago that they're giving Nuno until after the Wolves game, and they're going to make their decision. Oh, he's a right smile as someone resonates what I'm talking about. So, Anthony, we've had the Wolves game.
Yeah. I've not changed my opinion. He's not the right manager for us. Obviously, we can't sack him now, obviously. We've got to, keep the guy till summer. But going forward, I think we need to look for somebody with a bit more progression in his thoughts and with bigger balls.
Okay, short and sweet.
Yeah, well, there's not much else to say, is there? If you want me to tell you how I feel about yesterday, I can do that.
Go on and kick us off on yesterday. But
I'll try and be brief.
It's not a new background. The laptop's still under construction, so I've legged it around to Twist's house, and I'm in a Man U house right now. But yeah, anyway, go on, Ant. What do you think? Start with the team lineup, mate. Start with the team lineup.
Well, like everybody else, we all knew that Yates would be starting, but we all wanted Domingo. I don't think
The rebrand is complete.
How can anybody take me seriously? How can anybody take what I say seriously?
They don't, mate. They don't.
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. We all wanted Dominguez to start, and I think we were all proven right. I'm not going to go in on Yates because it ain't his fault he's playing, right?
I am.
Yeah, I know other people will. That's your prerogative. I'm not. I don't blame Yates for the result yesterday. I blame our shit defense. I blame our We had 10 corners yesterday. We scored from one. Brilliant, because MGW wasn't taking them. Honestly, our corners yesterday were in the main. Danilo's under the bar. It's that defending. I mean, they had. Sorry, I didn't finish what I was saying. They had one corner. One corner all game.
Did they? Can I say at the time, Ant, when they scored, I said, "Isn't that their first corner of the game?"
No,
I checked it today.
You don't need to check. I prepared this segment. 61 minutes, the first corner, and they scored from it, and that was their only corner. Yeah. And we all
wait, we're meant to be here to cheer people up, right? You just annoyed me.
We're meant to be here to give our opinions. That's what we're meant to be here. And if our opinions, make people feel a little bit down about our chances, then so be it. It's real, you know what I mean? We're not here to dramatize things. We're here to say it how it is. One corner, and they scored again. 22 goals we've let in from set pieces this season. 22. I don't know what percentage of our goals that is, but it seems a lot of goals to let in. We certainly let in more than anybody else in the division.
Half, isn't it?
And I am sick and tired of the same mistakes happening again and again and again. And that is partly down to the manager, but I do put a lot of blame on the players as well. I mean, they're professional footballers. You should know what you're doing. You shouldn't need a manager to say, you stand there and jump up in the air and head the ball away. You know what I mean? You're a professional fucking defender in the Premier League on a humongous salary. You should be able to do that. And they can't, and they don't. And the word I would use to sum up how I feel politely is frustration. That's what I am. I'm frustrated because we all know that we've got a decent squad. Decent. Certainly better than we're showing at the moment. And we're just doing the same thing over and over again. And as supporters, it's tiring. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was going out to the match yesterday with my brother, and I said to him, honestly, Nathan, I'll be glad when this season's over. I'm sick of it. It's the same thing. We keep coming down here. We've won 6 games all season. 6 games.
7.
That means on 20. I mean, how many games you played? 30?
7, mate. 7.
31?
Don't. Each game's valuable, mate. 7.
Sorry. Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. But nevertheless, you're talking about 20 games this season where we've been disappointed and upset. And a lot of those are our own fault. That is the frustration. We cause our own problems. And I'm sick and tired of it. I still think we'll survive purely because of the shit around us. The shit around us. Everton lose.
Doesn't say much, though, does it?
Exactly, yes. Because the point I was going to make, and the point I made yesterday is, yes, we might survive on 30 points. Any other season, you're down on 30 points.
Yeah, 100%.
You're down. So we will have, if we do survive, we will have survived by default, by luck.
Yeah.
And that's not good enough. And the manager we've got, I'm sorry, you guys, has not made that much difference in our results. Simple.
Fair shout. It's a hard one to argue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm not going to go into judging Nuno because I think it's under the circumstances of what he came into, what he's had in terms of a transfer window and all that sort of stuff. I think it's very hard to put too much blame on him. But you know what I'm reflecting on? I'm looking at Fulham and Bournemouth where they are this season, and they're 16 points better off than us. Yes, they were a yo-yo team, so they'd been in the Premier League, obviously, more recently than us. But they came up with us, and they've been comfortably safe this season. They've had Bournemouth, especially, they've had 2 managerial changes in that time, and they've managed to get through it. They've spent money this season, and eventually it's worked for them. But they've done more than enough to stay up this season comfortably. And I look at us, and we don't seem to be on the same playing field. In our heads, we are. In our heads, we're in the same league as Man City. But in reality, we're nowhere near it. And we're not just a little bit off it. We're way off it because we see spells. That's what we get from as Forest fans. And the home form this season, considering most of the games me and Ant can get to this season. We haven't got to an away game this year. We did go to a couple last year, but we didn't get to an away game this year. So everything we're seeing is at home. And our home form this season has been so piss poor and so erratic as well. I can't remember last time we had 2 or 3 wins in a row. And yesterday should have been a win. We were definitely the better team when the football started getting played. But again, we give opposition teams score when we give them chances and when we make mistakes. That first goal, I said to Ant at the time he was running through, I said he's 1 against 4. He's 1 against 4. There was 4 of us in the half, and I was like, I wasn't even worried about it. And then Ahmed Balamadeli made his mistake, but Yates compounded it on that occasion. So to say that he's got no blame in what conspired yesterday, I think it's
I'm not saying he's got no blame. I didn't want him to be the focus of all the blame.
I don't want him to be a scapegoat either.
That's all.
Unfortunately, and
for me.
But we see it in the stadium as well, and don't we? We can hear all this crap on Twitter about people backing him, but there was a cheer when he went off. Not to applaud him for going off, but that he was taken off. I should have gone at half-time. I said to Ant at half-time, we'll see who's the first 2 to come out warming up, and it was Ribeiro and Dominguez. And I said, it's a good chance Dominguez will come straight on at half-time, which is what should have happened.
Yeah.
He should have made the change there and then. But no, he waits. He waits another 15, 20 minutes. And I'm just sick of these delayed reactions from Nuno. Nuno has to fix a lot. Yeah, exactly. Nuno has to fix a hell of a lot, but I'm not going to judge him on what's conspired this season because I think he was left with a shit pile of crap to deal with, and I think he's done pretty decent to even keep us competitive at this stage. But like I said at the time when he came in, I would have taken just staying up. I'm not expecting us to finish in the top half or anything like that, but if you look on the overview of the whole season, we're miles behind teams that came up with us last season. We're not, like I say, we're not even close. So let's not be deluded. Let's be realistic about the challenge that we've got. And let's hope that even draws could be enough. Draws could be enough. So you saying, are we going to get another win? We might not even need another win this season. Draws could be enough. But the fact of the matter is when you've got the opportunity to win the game like we did yesterday and hold on to a lead, another game where we've given away from a winning position, it's not good enough. And the defensive inept. I think inept being inept from ineptitude is a word. Thank you. From set pieces is a joke. We look so amateurish when you looked at the replay of it, because that's the first time I saw it on Match of the Day last night when I saw it replayed. It was so poor. I saw Chris Woods running out and getting nowhere near the ball. You know, I saw players not marking them.
Embarrassing, man.
It was embarrassing. The whole thing was embarrassing. So, you know, there's so much that needs to be changed, and it needs to change right now. But maybe we'll get enough out of draws. But I'm just resigned to the fact that it's going to go down to the last game of the season, mate.
I can't.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah, just
I can't do the last game. I can't.
Just quick shout out to Noah. We did finally meet him yesterday.
Yes,
Noah. We'll tell you that story in a bit.
Or young Noah, as we ought to call him from now on. Now we've met.
Alleged Noah. All right.
Can you say that game tomorrow for us is massive? That Chelsea Everton game is.
Yeah, we made sure to watch along for
Everton's game. Yeah.
We gotta get under the bonnet of Rob's name here. Rob, we know what that stands for. Last chance, Nuno. That's the bit that's confusing me. What are you saying here, Rob?
How many games has Nuno had in charge of this team now? About 15, 20?
18, 17, 18, something like that.
18, isn't it?
So we've hit a common theme, haven't we? Which is the obvious thing gets addressed way too late. So finally, Gibbs White is taken off corners, and hey presto, look at the result, right? Yeah. But Nuno has got one job for the rest of this season, right? Training is cancelled. Stop shooting your balls in your 2-foot goals, and you have got to practice one thing only, which is defending corners, right? If you train on anything else, that is a complete waste of time. It's bugging me as much as England and penalty shootouts. Why don't they just practice, right? You know,
England are actually brilliant.
You know how it ends. You know how it ends. You see it coming towards you. You're steaming into a car crash. You know how it ends. 61 minutes we went yesterday without conceding a corner. As soon as they get one, we all know what's going to happen. And we called it out before the game, right? So if I was Mr. Marinakis right now, and if anybody's able to tell him to watch this, you need to issue an ultimatum to Nuno, right? There are 5 games left. If we concede one more goal from a corner, you are sacked immediately in the game. Finish the game with Stephen Reed in charge. This is so blindingly fucking obvious to anybody watching that anybody can score against us at any time from one corner. It completely undermines all of the efforts, all of the great performance by Reina and Murillo yesterday, all of that down the shitter because we cannot defend corners. Nuno should be sacked on the spot if we let in one more corner, because everything else that he's doing is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. That was our last and best chance to get 3 points yesterday, and we threw it away in the most predictable fashion. If we can see it, why can't he? And that's how I feel about yesterday's game. That result was unacceptable.
I'm a man.
Well, I don't agree that it's our last chance to get 3 points, or our last and best chance to get 3 points.
It was our best, Ed. I think it was our best.
We got Sheffield away. We're saying that's harder than.
Yeah, no, we're crap away. We're crap away.
We don't win away, and we've got
any away match is lessened, lessened in a chance of winning than any home match. I mean, we've got more chance of beating Man City at home than we have Sheffield away because we're just shit away from home.
Right. You cannot blame individual players for these goals that we're letting in from the corners, right? It is a team organisation effort, right? The manager has to set the team up for corners. You can't say, oh, we let that one in because of Murillo. Oh, we let that one in because of Sells. We let that one in because of Yates. No, it's the manager that sets them up for corners. And I've got a great idea. Forget this zonal marking crap, right? Because an area, a piece of space, a piece of air never scored a goal, right? You line all of your players up, your outfield players, in descending height, and you get the Everton team sheet and you say, right, you're marking him, you're marking him, you're marking him. You give everybody a player to mark.
Rob, and if I can suggest this, you keep one of your fastest players, like an Elanga if he's fit or whatever,
up
on the
top.
halfway line.
Yes, absolutely. You need an out. But the point is, you say to each player, you're marking him. If he gets substituted, you mark who he is replaced by, right? And if your player heads the ball, if your player gets his head to the ball, you are to blame. You come off and you don't play again this season. Ever.
You know what? I
don't know about that. They might sell them.
Yeah, they didn't get paid.
You're transfer listed. You transfer listed.
I said that Nuno should have said to him before the game, if we let a goal in from a set piece, I'm docking everybody a week's wages. That's what I said when we came out.
All we have to do is fix this one thing. All we have to do is fix this one thing. If we get to the end of the season in these 5 games and we don't let in a goal from a corner, then we've got a chance. But at the minute, we're shipping 1 per game. They're like penalties. They are like penalties. In fact, they're worse than penalties. You score 1 goal from 1 corner, that's worse than penalties, because sometimes penalties get saved.
It's not just that, Rob. They think it's hockey, isn't it? It's literally called penalty corners in hockey, isn't it? Not that I watch that crappy sport, but I see it every now and again in the Olympics, right? But it's penalty corners, man. That's what you get at the City Ground against us. It's doing my head in. And the fact that I didn't know there was 1 corner for them yesterday. That's boiled my blood. Right? I wish you guys hadn't told me that. I wish you guys hadn't told me that. Let me get Crypto. I just want to move this slightly, Crypto. I want you to take this, right? Matt's saying, what about the shite back passes and the lack of closing down players? Closing to 3 yards and standing like statues is bollocks. Shooting when you haven't hit a barn door all season needs to stop. I think we know about what scenario Matt's talking about here. I know some of them don't want to go in on Yates. I don't know where your stance is. We haven't spoken before the stream. But
no, I only say that. Sorry, I've got to say, I only say that because I don't want us to just ignore all the other fucking problems we've got.
Yeah, we'll
it's so easy to blame one player and then you forget what actually is happening in that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. My problem is that this isn't Yates's fault for me. This is the fault of the Yates freaking bum
It's easy for you to say.
Thank you.
Take over.
Who when he plays crap, they have to hire his pedestal like he's done even better.
Yep.
And they can't bring themselves to acknowledge a crap performance. Yeah. And then you get the accusations of, oh, when Yates plays good, no one wants to praise him. Absolute BS. We'll do nothing but praise him when he's had a good game. Yeah. That's what's so this isn't directed at Yates. Yates is crap. There's no 2 ways about it, in my opinion. Yeah. But the stuff he did yesterday, Crypto. Now, let's start with that. With that, I don't even know what to call it. That attempted, that was the closest he got to an assist this season for the other team.
I mean, Rob says that the first thing the manager should do is sort out the set pieces, but the first thing the manager should do is take Yates off the team sheet. I feel like it's one of those Joe Biden moments where he's about to make a speech and people start talking in his ear. So when he's writing down the starting 11, it's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't put that name anymore. He doesn't play for us anymore because he's shit. That was embarrassing yesterday from him. It was absolutely embarrassing. Now, Omobamidele doesn't get away with it because he kind of lost his man. But
I'm talking about the first one. The first one, the suicide pass, the hospital pass.
Yeah, but that's been happening all season from different players. It's the pressure, isn't it?
But okay.
But one second, let me finish this point. The Omobamidele thing where he ran and lost his defender. Defending 101, which you're taught in school when you're about 7 years old, says you fall back and you cover the space where the player might turn into. Yates, for some reason, was jogging at half pace about 4 yards behind him, which meant their player just turned around and ran through Yates as well. I mean, it's schoolboy defending.
He went to the left, man. He's fucking Beyonce. He went to the left, going to the box.
Yeah, it's not Premier League quality. It's just ridiculous. And when Dominguez comes onto the pitch and you've got the pairing of Domingo, you can see the quality immediately. The quality rises. How he still starts Yates game on game on game, I don't know. If there's one thing that's going to get Nuno sacked, it's this starting of Yates every match because it's not working. The whole midfield is getting overrun. There's too much pressure. We've got one of our best midfielders on the bench. And the whole thing is just sickening. Yates has had one good game this season. There's no consistency to his game. He needs to go back into the Championship, go to Sheffield United when they get relegated, because it's just not working. I'm fed up with Yates. I mean, to be honest, after this game, we might find ourselves in the Championship next season. So it'll be perfect for us then. But it's just, if he starts next week, that's it. I'm supporting Man City because they're going to win the Premier League.
There's plenty of empty seats in their ground if you want to go and watch.
Go on.
What?
You said something about Sells, Rob, in the comments.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously, I let out a fairly female kind of scream when Yates did that pass in the ground, but
I heard you, Robert.
Looking at it on the TV, there's 4 Wolves players on the screen when Sells does
Can we have a super chat then? Sorry,
Yeah.
I just...
Sorry, go on.
I'll get it up. Go on.
No, I've done. That was it.
Right, so there's 4 Wolves players on the screen, on the TV screen at the moment that Sells passes to Yates. So Sells has passed to Yates, where Yates has basically got his back to the whole pitch and has nobody to release it to. So it doesn't matter if you swap Yates for Sangare or for Dominguez or whatever, that pass to him is still a mistake.
No,
right?
No.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, how do you say no? I said that at the time.
This is
He's
not
not
defending Yates. This is
Yeah,
not
but
I know
defending
it's not. I know, but it's not a bad. It's not because it was directly on him.
Aina was in acres
trying
of
to play
space.
out
Aina
from the
was in
back.
acres of space on the left-hand side.
Rob,
Just lift
Rob,
your head. Lift your head, lift the ball.
I've just watched the 2 matches this afternoon. They pass it round the back. They've got about 1 second to make a decision and pass the ball away, and none of them have made a mistake. It's happened 100 times in these matches.
Premier League player should have handled that
Gets
pass.
the ball, and he fucking donkey punches it to their attacker because he's stupid and he needs to get out of the fucking team.
Yeah, and also, Rob,
Right,
on the
so
point,
this is where you draw the balance, man.
No,
Right,
but my point,
what Ant was saying right at the start about going in on the Yates. Say you don't like him, but stop calling people crap and shit and just going over the line. If you want to criticize a player, but saying he should never play for foreign, it goes too far. Let's have some balance, man. Let's have some reality. These are human beings as well, yeah? And they do play for our club. Going too
Right, because
far,
if we did go down, as Rob said, Yates would be one of our better players in that division.
Exactly.
You're right in what you say, because if we went down, Yates would be brilliant in the Championship.
We don't need to go too far with the rhetoric, man. Just say
Can
you
I
don't
make-
like him. You
can
don't
I
want him
throw
to
in-
play.
who's going too
10
far?
seconds.
Shit, man.
Can I throw in a 10-second bit of actual tactical analysis?
Yeah, but Rob,
Wait.
on that point, my point here is, even if you want to say Sells picked the wrong option, what's stopping Yates laying it back to Sells?
Well, I don't know. That's a bit. If he screws that up, he scores an own goal.
Yeah,
I don't like
Or
people
what's
kicking the ball towards him.
laying it to Aina in acres of space?
Quick bit
What's wrong
of
with him
tactical-
actually going on the half turn and coming away with it like a proper...
So,
Exactly.
Anyway,
What's wrong with him if he's panicking, booting it into Rose head? There's lots of
Exactly.
things to do.
Who did it know?
well, why can't Yates just hoof it up the pitch then?
Yes,
So
He's a professional
my
footballer in the Premier League being paid massively. He should be
Right.
able to handle the ball coming to him.
What I would say in defense of that, if that ball came to Dominguez, we wouldn't have had the same result.
Exactly.
Yates is not good enough. I agree with that. I agree with everything you're saying on that. I just don't want to go too far in terms of.
No, I
slagging him
agree.
off. If
Rob,
that went to Dominguez, that wouldn't have happened.
Rob, you just said that
Sometimes
Yates,
that's
you just said that Yates might have scored an own goal. Yates isn't going to score a goal, so don't worry about that.
Oh, he can score an own goal like Barillo.
In either net, he won't score a goal.
But it does bring it back. I don't want to do that. We're not having this debate, right? But you know what this whole conversation reminds me of? Do you remember Dean Henderson last year when he was talking about Mangala and how Mangala is always ready to accept a ball in any pressure situation? He's the first guy in his eye line that he's looking to pass to. So, you know, there is differences. There is differences in quality, and the quality is not good enough. And Ez is right, no one's calling Yates names or what have you. We're just calling his performance on the pitch. People can interpret what they want. I couldn't really give a damn, But the point is, it has to be strong analysis to overshadow all the BS you get from certain other people on him.
At the same time, you got to back up what Ant said. It's not his fault that he's being picked. It's Nuno's fault.
And
Nuno's
that is
putting him in
that is a
position.
key point. That's a key point. Why is he still picking him?
We've said
It's a
we.
one-off
I even said I
This,
would.
don't you? You get this like Ten Hag always picks Rashford, even though Rashford is
McTominay
shit.
as well. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you do get this in clubs where certain players. I mean, Conor Gallagher's played really well this season in general, but
he's fantastic.
a lot of fans last season were saying, "Why is he picking Gallagher every match?"
No,
you get these managers that have a player that they just trust.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it can often be their downfall as well, by the way.
Yeah. Twistor says to me, Yates is your version of our McTominay. And I see a lot of similarities in that.
McTominay is better than Yates.
You know
I can tell you that for
I can't
nothing.
remember his name. Their number 20. Now that was a CDM who played properly yesterday. I can't remember his I can't remember what his name was. I'll have to look at the team sheet. But he was brilliant, man. He controlled their play. And that was how.
No, it was Doyle.
Yeah,
Doyle.
I think that was his name. It was certainly an English lad or white lad, anyway. But he
That's what
really
I said on the stream. As I was like, "There's some white lad there, some white guy there. I don't know his name."
No, we're not being racist.
It was me. I put my kit on.
I don't know.
Okay, let's move forward.
By the way, can I just finish by saying Wolves are shit? By the way, we didn't draw against a really good, exciting, dynamic side that tore us to bits playing football. They were on the beach. Honestly, they were on the beach. They were casual. They weren't bothered, and they still got a 2-2.
Yeah.
Doesn't that worry you?
Can I just say a stat to make you all feel better? This is a stat that Sharky found earlier. So we're the worst conceding team in the Premier League for set pieces, and Everton are the second best. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's how they score all their goals. They score all their goals from set
scored
pieces.
half the goals from set pieces.
And you know what? We talked about it. In fact, I think Wolfie mentioned it in the last stream. Says, why do we give away so many corners? And we didn't yesterday. We gave away one, and it was enough. You know, so
it's enough.
Why did we give a corner away? If we could just not give a corner away.
Any corners, ban them, as Rob said. Let's catch up with a couple of the super chats and memberships. Dylan with the 15 months. Thank you so much, buddy. Well said, Ez. Spot on. That's got to be like in some kind of solar equipment.
Dylan, you're the first person that's ever
once in
a
lifetime. Let me have that one, man.
In 15 months, I've never seen that.
Massive shout out to Matt NFFC with the £5 towards the new PC. Matt, I love you, bro.
Matt, got bad news for you. That could be shared between the 5 of us, and YouTube takes 60%. Just letting you know.
You get like 20,
no, but it's
so he's got about 50p towards his laptop.
Everything counts. The man is desperate right now.
We appreciate
the man is desperate to throw his PC in the bin. And just a quick
anyway,
check.
I've not had a response yet to when I can't remember who it was who won the 500 quid on a bet. Where's the super chat then? Come on, guy.
Yeah. That's our resident Everton. Here we go, Agent Ancelotti.
Yeah, it's nearly time to wash all these shirts again.
Yeah, we're in it together. You know, we both hate the PGMOL, Premier League corrupt. Yeah. Everton Forest. Just a quick reminder as well. There's over 441 of you in here. 61 likes. Take a quick second. I know there's been a lot of shouting and raving. I will try and keep order as best I can. Yeah, but I'm not in my usual studio. So message to the boys: behave. Don't talk over each other because the comments start saying they can't understand any of you.
Mark, I'm kicking you out of my FIFA team.
Right, I want to move from something that was negative to something that was positive. Kick it off with you, Rob, this time. Danilo.
Liverpool lost today.
Arsenal lost, and you're not pulling that positive.
I'm not, but as long as Liverpool don't win, I don't give a shit. As long as it's not Liverpool, Man U, or Spurs, I'm not bothered. City all the way.
Anyway, let's get back to Forest. Rob, something I think's been positive in the last couple of games has been Danilo. What were your thoughts on Danilo yesterday in terms of performance and his goal as well?
Well, he can finish, can't he? And
yes.
I think he's had a wobbly season. He's been in and out of the team. He had some shocking performances, but he's one that turns up at the end of the season when the shit properly hits the fan. So he needs to be playing every game now. So, I was very impressed by him again. The midfield setup was interesting. I feel like Reina and Gibbs-White possibly got in each other's way a bit. I thought Reina had overall a very good performance. I was very disappointed to see him come off. I do feel like we had rather too many similar players in there, which is Reina, Gibbs-White, Danilo, Hudson-Odoi, all good with the ball at their feet, all decent shooting, but they were all trying to make the same runs, and none of them really has the blistering pace. And so this is what I was going to say a minute ago. I feel in midfield, we really missed Elanga because we missed Elanga for one reason. If you look at where the Wolves' defense was, it was on the halfway line for most of the pitch. They had a really, really high line. And that's what that pressing is what led to Sells doing that hospital pass to Yates. We were cramped in because they knew that Wood, Hudson-Odoi ain't going to outpace anybody, right? And, I love Hudson-Odoi, but there was a couple of moments where somebody actually put him with a through ball and then the defenders caught him back and got in front of him. So we need Elanga back, or we need to look through the team and say, right, who is our second fastest player, and just put them in there. Because my problem is that you've got four quite similar players, Cho, MGW, Danilo, Reina, all great ball players. They were making some nice triangles, but it was very tippy-tappy. And there were times that we needed to just get the ball forward quickly, and it was slow and it was ponderous, and the attacks were breaking down. So I think we were a bit overloaded in terms of sort of flair ball players, and we just needed some pace. And Reina's positioning was not clear to me either, because I know you wanted to know about Danilo, but it looked ostensibly like he was a sort of like-for-like replacement for Elanga, but he absolutely wasn't. He was drifting inside, and all we had on that right-hand side was basically Williams, which is fine, because Williams is great getting forward, but it wasn't a 3-5-2. It wasn't. I'm not sure what the tactic was. So I did feel like, overall, slow to get the ball forward. Maybe having all four of those players, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Reina, and Danilo, I don't know, maybe someone needs to make way just so you've got a bit more balance there, because it was slow. It was good to watch. I mean, overall, it was quite a good performance, apart from the one thing that we already.
But it was the attacking threat, and you kind of touched on it, because that was, from Nico Williams' point of view, it's probably his worst game in the last half dozen or so.
Yeah, he struggled.
But he had no one with him.
He did not have support down that side.
I
agree with you, Rob, and me and Ant noticed it as well. There was a few times that they seemed to get in each other's way, MG Dub and Reina, because the ball came to the edge of the box and they're deciding on the spot who should take the ball, and they were getting in each other's way. We didn't have the width down the right hand side, and I think Hudson-Odoi didn't get the support that he normally has as well down the side. We were very narrow. It was, from the attacking players, from the fullbacks, it was probably the least impressive game, or certainly impactful game yesterday. And I think that had something to do with the way we lined up. I liked the fact that Reina started, and I think he did a couple of very good things. You know, he could have scored pretty early on when we managed to get the high press on. Yeah. That's the only benefit of playing him. The high press at times yesterday, or the way we pressed at times yesterday, was brilliant. But we did it in such short spells that it didn't really have the impact that it needed. And that's something we need to do a lot more of. Because I watched Palace today against Liverpool, and from the very first minute, they were in their faces. Brilliant. And this is a Palace team who got nothing to play for, you know, against a Liverpool side going for the title. So teams can do it. But when we do it well. But we only do it in small spells. And to make that work, you needed a Dominguez in there, because Dominguez does cover down the right-hand side. He goes left-hand side. He's everywhere. You can get away with a Reina and MG Dub if you've got Dominguez in the team, because he gives you the legs, and he certainly gives you the work rate that you just don't get from Yates. So I like the fact that he played. I just think it really hindered us from our for the wing play from the wing backs. And I think what I would attempt to do is probably bring Nuno on sooner. And take Reina off and put Aina up that side. So then you've still got the attacking threat. That's what I would have possibly done when he made the substitutions. But yeah, like I said, go back to it. I like the fact that Reina started. I think he did some very good things. It does change the way we play, but to make that formation work, or make him work in that formation, I think you have to have a Dominguez in there.
Yeah, and you were to bring it back to Danilo, you were doing a bit of that at the start.
My boy.
I take it you're back being impressed with him.
I've always been a Danilo fan.
Shut up,
Even when he wasn't playing well, I said, give him time, he will come good again. We saw last season what kind of player he's capable of being. And actually, I'd like to, people have been taking the mickey out of me saying Domingo instead of Dominguez. I don't think you realise, and I didn't till Cryptober said it, that actually Danilo is like with Danilo, they're like a couple, like you have these joined. So Domingo is both of them, I've decided.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Domingo is the pairing. Domingo is the
amalgamation of the two.
Domingo. That's the
As soon
midfield
as you said
pairing.
it, I thought I'm going to grab onto that.
Domingo.
But yeah, Danilo, listen, he was fantastic. First time balls. Soon as it came, I've always said, great midfielders, they know what's around them, so they don't need to look. Unlike our friend Sangare, who's struggling at the moment, is struggling to cope with that. He looks, fantastic, brilliant. I'm so pleased that he's coming back, and he could be so important to us. These last few games. I didn't realize it was only 5. Bloody hell, where's that gone?
4. 4 technically, Man City, mate.
Well, yeah, if you want to look at it like that, I can't argue. Yeah, so to me, those pairs should be in midfield. Regarding Reina, look, everybody, I've seen quite a few people rave about him. To me, it was okay. Okay.
No, he's good.
No, he was okay.
Good.
Listen, he paled in comparison with Danilo. You know what I mean? Danilo was in that midfield, was absolutely killing it. And Reina got the ball now and again, and perhaps he passed it, perhaps he didn't. Honestly, I was watching the game. I was there. I think if you say that's fantastic, he's got to stay in the team. He could be the difference. I think you're deluded.
Well, then I'm deluded.
Yeah, but do you think it helped with the press when the way he played or where he was playing? That's what I'm on. That's what I want to see more of.
Yeah, but is he taken away from another area? Ez? That's what you got to look at.
No, but like I said, you can kind of counteract that by playing Dominguez, because Dominguez will cover the right hand side.
Maybe let's see. Listen, I'm not slagging the guy off. I mean, it's hard to come into that team, play out of position, and perform well. It's not easy. So I'm not slagging him off.
Yeah,
I'd love to see more of him. I'm just saying, I think people need to calm down a bit when they're raising him up to there.
I think Reina's more of a similar player to Cho than Elanga. I'd rather see him on the left. Cho likes to run at people and cut inside.
Whereas
Elanga's just using pure pace to run past people.
I'd rather see him 100 times out of 100 over Elanga.
Yeah, but I'm saying Elanga on the right,
and he's got a brain as well, which helps.
He was quiet yesterday, though, wasn't he? Because he wasn't getting the service.
He did some brilliant work yesterday. He did some incredible work yesterday.
Where are you talking about now?
What
about Cho?
Cho.
I thought he was quiet.
He's quiet. He wasn't.
If he'd have put one of those chances in, I mean, he missed chances. But if he'd have put one of those in, people's perceptions would have been entirely different. What a brilliant game he had.
You can say that for anyone. Yates could have scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, if Elanga missed those chances, we'd be slagging him off. So I don't know. I don't think he had a good game. No, I don't think he had a good game.
They weren't that easy, his chances. They were from 30 yards out, mate. They weren't like...
No, I'm not talking about ones from 30 yards out. I'm talking about ones in the penalty area. There was 2.
Oh, yeah, he fluffed one at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, that lob, he got the 4 iron out instead of the lob.
But again, I'll go back to the wing backs weren't really effective yesterday. So but I do want to touch on Danilo because I thought.
Sorry, Ez, I'm really sorry. I promise I'll shut up after this, but I've just got to say this. At the end of the day, we're going this player, that player. It's a fucking defense and not being able to defend set pieces. We scored 2 goals yesterday. That's enough to win.
We're back to scoring
goals.
This
is the praise Danilo segment, right? And you're bringing your defense agenda again, and let's say what he's got.
Just a quick touch on Danilo because I thought Danilo was brilliant. Yes, he was my man of the match. I know you gave it to Murillo, and the chat gave it to Murillo in the player ratings, but Danilo for me. Also, I'm loving the way he's linking up with MG Dub, and that's what was so effective last season. At the end of last season, them two, the little 1-2s, for getting in and around the box, and he's getting in the box. He's one of our few midfielders that gets in the box, and he was so composed with his finish yesterday. And he had another opportunity on his left foot as well that, a little bit more power on it, and he probably could have got it into that top corner. So it's it's fundamental that he starts hitting form. He did it last season. This is when he hit form, last half a dozen games or so, wasn't it? And this is what we need. But I would beef up the midfield and add Dominguez to it. Take Yates out, put Dominguez in there, just see how that works. Because I was tempted to even start with Sangare yesterday, but I would take on board what Ant said, because I wasn't at the game where he was talking about how he was looking down, and I've watched it back, and yes, he's just not with the pace of the Premier League, and he's not going to get it over his last 5 or 6 games. So I think the Sangare one you need to put to bed until maybe next season, and you just use him as a sub. But you got to start with Dominguez. He was first name on the team sheet for
he was
a
so
couple
good.
of months. He was so good.
Staying on the
Mm-hmm.
midfield, the one thing that really annoyed me yesterday, and we've said it before, is when that I don't know why Reina came off, but the fact that Origi comes on, Origi does not work with Wood. Origi is providing literally nothing. I don't think he's contributing anything to the team anymore. I think he's past it. I think he's had a good career. Origi for me is past it. I don't want to see Origi play again. It's not working.
Agree.
There's got to be
he's got some ability, but he's got no confidence whatsoever.
I'd rather see if you're going to put Dominguez on, say as a sub. I'd rather him start. Let's say he comes on as a sub, move him up and bring Sangare on to replace Yates, because Origi on the right wing is just doing absolutely nothing. That miss at the end, or that miss pass, or whatever it was meant to be, was just an absolute shocker.
Shocker.
No, he's got ability. I mean, he danced through their defense, man, at one point. He has got ability. He's got no confidence whatsoever.
He's got no end game. He doesn't get.
He's got no confidence. That cross shot at the end, he should have shot. Chris Wood would have been offside. If you played the pass, Chris Wood would have been offside.
I disagree. I think everyone.
I think
it's probably an unpopular opinion, but for me, it's not he should have shot or he should have passed. He should have played that ball first time. Chris Wood would have been onside.
Yeah, if he'd done that.
He should have. Everyone's saying he should have shot. I mean, what evidence?
By the time he played the pass, Chris Wood was offside, so he should have been smart enough to take the shot. But if he
Wood and Origi as a partnership has never worked in any game.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the people that are saying he should have shot. What evidence are you basing his finishing on that you would like him to be the one who shoots? Do you know what I mean? It's like his finishing's been atrocious all season.
Don't play him at all.
Yeah, don't play him. I think that's it. Just Origi, thank you, goodbye. In a bit.
You've got to bear in mind, he's on 120 grand a week. We've got to get some.
There's nothing less dangerous than Origi through on goal. Seriously,
that's what I'm saying. His confidence thing. He's not a shit player. He's got.
Why are we putting his AC Milan player in the shop window? He's not even our player.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he'll be gone in 5 games' time.
But guys, you got to bear in mind.
He should have been gone before, but we had an injury crisis. So Nuno said, "Can we keep him for the rest of the season?" Right?
Because he was going, Rob, wasn't he? He was going to the MLS.
Anyone could see from yesterday that Ribeiro had about 8 minutes on the pitch, and the few touches that he had were really exciting.
He looked busy, didn't he? He looked busy.
He put Origi through. It was his ball that put Origi through.
Yeah.
I want to see Ribeiro given a decent shooting opportunity, because I think he's going to bury it. He's not a has-been. He's a young, precocious talent. Give him a go.
Yeah.
Give him a go.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you got to bear in mind, obviously, we didn't have Elanga. So that's why I said what I would have done is probably put Aina out on the right and put Nuno at left back. That's what I would have done rather than
I would have put
the right hand side.
I would have put Domingo on the right and put Sangare in midfield. Because if you start
if you start putting
fullback
in
winger position,
I think you're all overcomplicating it. It's just a straight.
I'd bring Mangala back.
Oh dear.
Well said.
I think the team.
I'm telling you, he would make a fucking difference that side. I'm telling you.
We'd be 7th.
And do you get paid for every time you mention him?
Yeah,
you get paid for every time you mention him.
He's on commission. I just think that I said yesterday when I saw the team sheet, 10 out of 11. Yates and Dominguez should have been switched around. And that would have been fine. Rob, my frustration again though was his substitutions. It's
too little, too late.
It's not even that, Rob. I think he got the first substitution right, maybe a little too late. But then 5 minutes later, he brings Origi on. if I'm not mistaken. So what was his first substitution? It was
Dominguez.
Was it
It was
Dominguez?
Dominguez for Yates, yeah. That team for 5 minutes actually looked quite balanced, and that triggered us to get into that 25-minute period where we were pressing them high, winning the ball, but we just can't finish anything, man. But were you frustrated at all with the substitutions yesterday? What was your take on it?
I was more frustrated with the team selection than the substitutions.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot more about your players in games like these last 5 games than you learn about them in the previous 30, because you learn, can they deliver when the pressure's really on, right? And I think that lesson with Origi needs to be learned now. That needs to be banked. He's shown flashes. He did an assist against Villa, but it really is too little, too late with him. And you've got to look for who's on form. I think the problem with Tavares, he's probably thinking, oh, if I bring on Tavares, he might set something up. He might pair up with Hudson-Odoi, and the two of them can go bombing off. Yeah, but don't do that on 88 minutes. That needed to be done at half time if it was going to be done at all, right?
I would have taken Tavares straight back off. I thought he was atrocious.
Oh, I know.
He lost the ball about 6 times in the first 2 minutes.
He kept on passing to
but it was terrible.
It was. I know he hasn't played, but I was like, oh my god, he's just gonna make a mistake and we're gonna lose the match.
He made a dog's breakfast of every pass.
Ah, very clever, Rob. Very clever. I get what everyone says about Tavares, and he was crap. But I think that substitution was a case of get a few minutes in his legs ready for Everton. I think.
But come on. Minutes in legs.
It didn't work on this occasion.
What you've just said is the reason, but that is shocking management. We needed to win that game then, not be playing the meta game for the next match.
We could have lost if he'd have made a mistake and let someone. Yeah.
Absolutely, we totally lost momentum. He had about 3 or 4 involvements, all of which either lost us the ball or put it into touch.
But did Aina do anything yesterday? I can't remember him doing anything. I can't remember an overlap.
He defended okay.
He was all right, but
it wasn't as good as it's been.
His throw-ins were good. I would say his throw-ins were pretty good. Actually,
he had one decent throw-in.
That's like saying Delap had a good game for Stoke back in the day.
But to be fair, that throw-in did lead to the corner, which led to that our first goal. So
listen. Don't play down how good a good thrower inner is.
He's good.
Because
he's very
at the end of the day, it's as good as a set piece. Now I know we're shit at set pieces, but most clubs, are decent at set pieces. So don't play that down. That's I mean, James Ward-Prowse only plays because he could deliver.
You're just a hypocrite then if you're saying that. Because you're the one who always brings up stat corners. Do you know that percentage goal?
That's true.
Yeah. So what do you think the percentage goals are from throw-ins then? So what's the point? You're being a hypocrite.
Because when Niakate was in his pomp with his throw-in, they were better than corners.
Our corners, yes. I'll grant you that.
Reina and Danilo looked good on corners yesterday. Finally.
Yeah.
Although when they went off, it reverted back to MGW. We could have put Williams on corners. We could have put Williams on corners once they went off. But no, it reverted back to MGW kicking the ball into the first man.
But wasn't it nice for the crypto? Wasn't it nice to see Danilo?
It was. But why are we seeing it with 5 games left? There's 5 games left in the season. We were saying this a year ago. We were saying this last season. It's some of the game management is a bit of a joke.
Yeah, I forgot my train of thought, but whatever. Let's just catch up with the super chats quickly while I try and remember my train of thought. Chris, the legend, thank you so much for the £2. Got to be Danilo and Dominguez till end of season, like I said before.
Yeah, Domingo. You did say that.
Domingo.
Are we all in unanimous agreement? Chuck, quick whys or ends in there. Is everyone in agreement on that pairing? Anyone would argue?
There's another option. There's another option, which is to play the same formation, but just drop Gibbs White back into the Yates position and say, okay, Reina, you're the number 10, because Gibbs White Gibbs White is good wherever you
Yeah.
put him, right?
Yeah.
And it might just help a little bit with the organisation and stop them making the same runs and getting in each other's way. So I think we all agree Yates makes way. The question is whether it's for Dominguez or whether it's to drop Gibbs White back into a six and leave Reina where he is.
And I think he's got the energy to do the 8 role really well.
Yeah. If you want Reina to start, it's either at the expense of a winger, which I don't like, or by bringing Gibbs White back and giving Reina the clear 10 role.
I think, Rob, you kind of agreed to what I said earlier on about if you are playing with Reina in that role, you need Dominguez. You said about 5-10 minutes when we had them on before Origi came on, it worked. We pressing really well. So that's why I say you can get away with having Reina in there, but you need Dominguez behind it. You need somebody with legs, somebody who's all over pitch, who will cover him. If he's moving in, then Dominguez will go out wide, and you still got Danilo in that position. So it can work. I just want to see that. I have no problem with starting with the same formation as yesterday, but you got to put Dominguez in for Yates and then see how that works. Give that a go, and I think you'll see that we'll press higher up the field. We'll pick up the ball higher up the field, and it takes that pressure off the defense. Where we all know, and we've said a million times, how many times have other teams cut through us with good play, or even from long range? It doesn't happen. It happens from mistakes we make and set pieces.
But this is what I'm thinking. I think Michael's spot on. Yates is going to start against Everton. It would be no surprise if Yates is on the team sheet again against Everton.
I agree. But where are people getting the idea that Dominguez is not the right man for a physical battle? I mean, if anybody's built for a physical battle, it's
crunching tackle, wasn't it, Ant, yesterday? First thing he did yesterday was went into a crunching tackle, and he won the ball.
Yeah. So,
he can
I
do
agree.
it.
You get a lot of people saying, oh, Yates has got to be in because it's going to be a physical battle. Dominguez is up for a physical battle.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't. It's not Yates I'm annoyed with. It's the rhetoric people put around him.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of it is social media because it's not in the ground. Honestly, there wasn't people begging for Yates to stay on the pitch yesterday.
It's funny you say that, actually. The guy in front of me in P block turned around at half time and he said, "Are you on Forest Fan TV?" And I said, "Yeah." and then he said, like, Finally. I know. I think his name's Gary, and he said, "I've got one problem. I've got one problem with FFTV, which is that you really slag off Yates." So anyway, there you go. That's some direct feedback.
Okay.
So,
I tell you what.
Sorry, Gary. We don't really care.
Gary, I respect Gary, but it's a good job you weren't talking to me.
Big man behind the camera. Okay, just very quickly, we've got over 530 in the house across all platforms, but we're on 116 likes, you guys. If you're enjoying the
I'm not saying anything.
If you're enjoying whatever, get those likes up before I unleash Ez on you guys.
Yeah, send me in.
Now I want to talk about a player who I've been impressed with a lot lately, but I felt he was a bit of a letdown yesterday, and that was the goalkeeper, Sells.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put any? I thought in general his play was fine. It's just the mistakes. The second goal for me, and I've got a good chunk of blame on him. The way he kind of slapped it into the Wolves player's face, and then the calamity began. But what did you think of Sells yesterday?
I'll be honest with you, mate. We were sitting in the Brian Clough upper. And that goal to me, honestly, I'm not trying to duck the issue. I just couldn't tell. To me, it just looked like a whole load of mess. Yeah. It's just like every player was the ball was going about and nobody was taking control. Nobody was like getting in there and really making it his. So I can't comment on that, unfortunately. I thought in general it was okay. It was good. It was okay. But I've not watched it back.
I have watched it back, and he does seem to get two hands on that shot. He does seem to get two hands on it, and if you're getting two hands on it, you got to push it around the post.
Where are you talking about the first one here?
The first one. Sorry, I'm on about the first one. Were you talking about the second one?
I was talking about the first one as well. There has been a debate.
I would say if you're going to get two hands to it, you've got to tip it around the post. If it was just a fingertip, then yeah, you can say he reached as much as he could, and but if he had stronger fingertips there, stronger palms, he would have got that round the post. So I don't blame him obviously for facing the shot, but once you face that shot, if you get in two hands to it, then you got to kind of get it round the post, mate. And I think he thought he had, because it clipped in off the post, didn't it? It didn't hit the net straight away. It did clip in off the post. So I think he thought he'd done enough, but he clearly hadn't. The second one, yeah, I mean, it was bad all ends up, and he's got to do better than palming it straight into play, into a danger area, doing a Navas. Yeah, but you know what? If that's as bad as he's been, then I'm still behind Sells. I still think he's definitely, obviously, way better than what we've got in backup. But he'd be a backup goalkeeper for me next season. If we can get a better first choice, then you find a better first choice. But as a backup goalkeeper in the Premier League, he's more than good enough. But yeah, I'm not going to give him too much blame for yesterday, because he's been brilliant the last few games, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah, I think he could have done.
Sorry, Crypto. I just want to raise this. I was going to do it at the start, and Simon's reminded me. Red Side of the Trents podcast today. Yeah, if you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it. Talk about 4 straight talking blokes on there. Shout out to them. They're on YouTube and on podcasts like your Spotify's and stuff.
No way.
Huh?
So I'm watching the game back. First of all, first thing I've got to point out is fucking hell, man. We have got to give something to Murillo. That we're coming
to him.
That for us, and I don't know what drugs Ez is on, but there's no way Sells could have stopped that. No, that first goal.
Didn't he not get his hands to it?
Yeah,
it flew in past him, mate.
Anyway, just quick shout out to them. So they're on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel as well. They should be on way more subscribers. You guys need to go show them some love. Honestly, they're such straight talking.
And you do know what drugs I'm on. Sorry.
Huh?
He said, "I don't know what drugs Ez is on." You do know what drugs I'm on.
He does know. Anyway, give them a shout out. But what were we talking about? Sells.
So, yeah, I was just gonna make a quick point and say that I thought it was one of his worse games, but the thing with Sells is normally he's consistent. So if 90% of your games are consistent and 10% aren't, I don't really have a problem with that. Although it's not great that it's.
Is it because of what Laurie says, Crypto?
But can we all agree how Oil Glide Turner? Yeah, I mean Turner can just fuck off. But I've had enough of seeing Turner's face on the bench every fucking week. I can't stand it. Anyway,
Laurie, what have you triggered, man? Why did you say the team?
The difference between a player like Sells and Yates is that Sells is normally consistent, and if he makes a mistake, okay, he's made 1 or 2. The difference with a player like Yates is that 90% of the time he's not consistent, and 10% of the time he is. That's my issue with players. If they make a mistake every once in a while, like Niakate did that game where he did the suicide pass, but he didn't do it again. So if you play him well most games and you have a few off games, and I don't have a problem with that.
And Dominguez, sorry to interrupt, Dominguez did it against West Ham.
Dominguez did it again, didn't he? Lots of people have done it. I think Elanga did it from
everybody against Fulham.
Yeah, everyone's going to make mistakes. The key is be consistent as you can, and if you're consistent 80-90% of the time, then people aren't going to have a massive problem with it.
Can I just say, I've just checked out those 2 goals. Personally, for me, I wouldn't hold Sells responsible for either of them.
I don't hold him responsible. I just think he could have done better.
He definitely gets a hand to the first one, and then the second one, he just parries it into nowhere.
What do you think on the second one, Anne? What do you think on the second one?
Well,
it sort of bounced in front of him, didn't it? And then bounced up.
Now, if you look at the view from behind the goal, Anne.
Yeah, I've not looked at that view.
When he pushes it into the Wolves player, I can't remember which player it is. You just felt he could have either caught it or just palmed it out of danger.
I'll take your guys' word on that, because
I've
not had a chance to really look at it.
Punted it over, man. He
if Wolves don't win that header, they don't score from that corner, and I think that's where it broke down.
It was so simple, though. Hit it to the back post, knock it back across into the danger area, and so we missed the first ball. We missed the second. We deflected the second ball onto him, and that's what we're doing. We're not picking up. We're not picking. I don't know. I agree with. Rob,
he's at full stretch trying to
around not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah, he's at full stretch, and it's very difficult for him to catch and hold that because he's going to land on the ground. He could spill it. So he's right, I think, to try and punch it, but he's not got enough on the punch but I'm not holding him responsible for that goal. If we win that header, they don't score that goal.
How does that work?
The worst
Maybe we should touch on MGW's brilliant header as well. The great cross and the brilliant header. Talk about simple goal.
The black mark against Cells yesterday was the pass to Yates that nearly cost us the goal. That Murillo had.
You're harsh with that, Rob. I get what you're saying on the second goal, but I think you're harsh to say that a professional goalkeeper passing to a professional footballer, not who has a little.
You gotta know your players' limits as well, and we know what Yates' limits are, and you can't do that.
I hate that line.
And touched on it. Danilo and he had a similar position, is a little bit further out in that first half, and with his left foot straight away got it out to Aina. First touch, he knew, and you turned around at me at that time and said, "Look at it. You know, he can see what's around him. He's thinking ahead." But you've got to know Yates' limitation. He's the last player would have put in that position.
Yeah, but they need to feel confident in each other. Look what's happened now. Sells has come in. All the defenders feel confident in the goalie. So you can't have a guy in midfield who people don't want to pass the ball to because they're worried he might make.
And that happens quicker. They bypass him, and I've seen it in the last couple of
games. Like you guys say,
I've seen plenty of other clubs where they won't pass to a certain player because it's shit.
Yeah, but it's not Yates' fault. It's Nuno's fault. I don't understand why he's starting him game after game. Yates is always the first person on the team sheet. And I can't
it's the armband issue, isn't it? It's always captain, he has to play. We had that with Worrell.
You can't have the worst player on the pitch as a leader. What are they looking up to?
He's not Nuno's captain. Nuno didn't make him captain.
Exactly.
He just didn't take it off him.
I
was staggered if next season, if we're still here and everybody's in place, if Yates is still the captain.
Yeah, it just goes to show. It just goes to show being the first one into training and the last one out of training seems to make an impact on the manager because every single manager has picked him at one point or another. And that's
true in life, Ed. That's true in life in general.
Literally, he comes in the morning, sweeps up and things like that, puts the cones out. He's like literally, he's the
I mean, that's what.
He actually does that.
It's a good point because
he probably does.
That's why Rob didn't get into Parliament because he was the last one on the voting form. And the last one
I am actually. I'm always at the bottom of the paper.
What, do they go alphabetically by the R?
Yes, the alphabet is very important in elections. And I'm always the last one at the bottom.
That's why Boris Johnson got in. Boris.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, speaking about players that should definitely be in, Rob, let's give some flowers to Murillo. Because whatever Yates did, whatever the rest did, he was my man of the match. Him and Dominguez for me. But this player, like, should we be bigging him up, Rob? Are we just shocking him more?
He's worth everything we say about him. And also, did anybody notice the breakdance move that he did after heading the goal off the line?
Like a backward flip.
He flipped up, man. It's
He's like a kind of robot or something. It was brilliant.
He learned that off Felipe.
Yeah,
but he literally looks like a youngster on the school playground. Because Ant was saying, look at him with his baggy shorts and his baggy
short socks. He looks like a kid on them.
One thing leapt out to me. Which is why Murillo's worth 80 million and Omobamidele is worth 30 million, right? Compare Omobamidele yesterday with that run that Cunha made, right? Murillo did exactly the same thing against Michail Antonio in the West Ham game. And then when Antonio cut inside, Murillo read it and put out a leg and won the ball off him. It was pretty much on the same spot, right? So, I like Omobamidele, but it just shows you why Murillo's in a different class because he does
yesterday, there was one occasion when I think it must have been Cunha got the better of him. He got goal side of him, and he still managed to get back and retrieve the ball and get it
ridiculous,
away.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And he was beating
he's like a tank. You can't get past him, can you? It's that solid.
Do we need to have a conversation though about Omobamidele because the mistakes are beginning to mount up? And I've been his number one supporter, but he's now got against him the Brighton own goal, the misplaced pass against Villa. I do hold him mainly responsible for getting done by Cunha yesterday. He should have just tried to tackle him 35 yards out because if he gets it wrong, he gets a yellow card, takes one for the team, or Yates should be there to mop up. but don't let him get that close, because once he's in the box, you can't tackle the bastard unless you're Murillo. Once he's in the box, you can't tackle the bastard, and that's the real danger, right? So sort it out while you're 35 yards out. So I think I'm starting. I think that's now 3 blank marks, and we've got to remember his age, right? I think he's a very, very good defender, but in this situation we're in now, do we perhaps need experience?
Yes.
I'm not sure who, because
Ollie,
Ollie's injured. Ollie's injured, right?
I don't care. Bring him back.
We've all said, haven't we, that if Bolly's fit, it's Bolly and Murillo.
Yes. So this is not a thing like with Origi or with Yates or even Sangari, where we basically said, have they got a future? I'm just saying that I think this is a lot of responsibility for a defender of his age right now.
A Premier League relegation battle. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's Felipe that's the answer, though. I think we've probably said, yeah, absolutely. As soon as Bolly is available, I think it's probably time to put him back in. And that's I really like Omar Bamidele, and I think he's got a big future at the club. I just think it's too much to put on him right now.
Rob. You're flip-flopping. You are like Stoney, Omar Bamidele.
No, I mean, look, I can now name 3 mistakes that he's made that have led to goals, right? So that is
3 the magic number?
No, but I mean
3 strikes. 3 strikes.
No, it's like everyone's allowed a mistake. Like Murillo did an own goal at Tottenham that he really didn't need to do, but like he's got enough credit.
Yeah, he wanted to score, Rob. You know,
I know he's got enough credit in the bank that you can let it go. But what I'm saying is now, I think we are putting a lot of expectation on Omar Bamidele, and I think we do need to look at. We have got depth in that position.
Mm-hmm.
But are we comparing unfairly Omar Bamidele to Murillo? They're at different stages in their development, different natural talent levels, different body physiques as well. Is it harsh because Niakate's made mistakes, Felipe's made mistakes, Worrell has more mistakes than non-mistakes, you know? And Bolly, I can't think of a major Bolly mistake, but he's never really
getting sent off against Bournemouth.
We've had this conversation. That wasn't his fault.
That was a mistake.
And I corrected you then. Do we have
to hang on. There were 2 yellow cards involved in that sentence.
Yes, and what was the first yellow card for?
That was Rob Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah, I corrected you last time. What was the first yellow card for? He was the last man.
Professional foul.
Yeah, last man.
He was the last one with Solanke running through on goal.
We're not doing it. We've already done it.
That's why. So you can't blame him for that one either.
My point here is... He did that. My point here is it a bit harsh? It wasn't me. Is it a bit harsh to compare Omar Bamidele? It wasn't me. Oh, Crypto. Okay. Omar Bamidele versus Murillo.
Yeah.
As we keep saying, he's young. You're going to get mistakes. And as the point you made about chucking him into a relegation battle at this age, there's no team in the top 7 that would chuck in a fresh. Look what Arsenal did with Saliba. No, I'm saying look what they did with Saliba. They loaned him out first, didn't they? They loaned him out for a year or 2 to France. Then they eased him into the team, even though he's young. We've taken Omar Bamidele from Norwich and just chucked him straight in.
No. Sorry, we didn't. Half the season had gone before he made his.
Yeah, he was going to go out on loan in January, and then he decided.
Cooper didn't want to play him.
I don't think the plan was to bring him in this early and play him as regularly as this. But we have had
probably one more defender in a similar situation to us that we can probably put our centre backs against, and that's probably Brantwaite at Everton. So the way he's coming this season, he's a fantastic defender. He's no doubt about it. He's Ver Murillo. You know, he's not as good as Murillo, but he is Ver Murillo. But yeah, to compare Murillo to Bamidele, I don't think it's a fair comparison.
It's unfair, isn't it?
It's unfair because Murillo's just next level. The way he's come across, he's played less than 20 games in professional football before he's come to another country, and not just any league, but Premier League, and he's been a mainstay. Can't think of another defender or another player who's come from abroad at his age who's able to do that. So I don't think you can. That's not a fair comparison at all. Murillo's he's just a beast. he's a unicorn, mate. He's something different, and we got to kind of enjoy him while we've got him. But Murillo, yeah, I think. Do you know what I worry for? And Rob's kind of touched on it. He has made mistakes. His mistakes have cost us a point here and there. If he makes a mistake that costs us 3 points in a game, you know, that might really knock his confidence because he is still a young player. So I think we've all agreed that if Murillo, if Bolly's fit, it's Bolly and Murillo. You know, that would be your first choice. Now, Amrabat, if he's not fit, you're saying we've got plenty in cover. Niakate's been poor this season. I wouldn't put Felipe in ahead of him. So what are the options if Bolly's not there? Because he's not there either.
Bring him back from loan.
You kind of got to with him unless you got Bolly available.
You know, like on FIFA where you can emergency recall someone and they come back like a second.
Claim a card you've discarded.
And you pay a fine.
There's a super chat in from the absolutely generous legend that is Forrest with the £10. Thank you so much, buddy. And he asked the question, is there any influence from Marinakis and / or his son on team selection? Feels like Nuno had free reign to start with, now making Cooper-style mistakes. Now, as far as I know, there is no influence from the owner at all, because I know of certain people that have actually tried to get certain players into the team, begging for it to happen because the fan base does. Now, you can all thank me for MGW being off corner after my capital letter WhatsApp message from the other day.
Excuse me, that's down to substitution.
No, 3 weeks ago. It only had 10.
56.
60 likes, but it's enough.
Rob, you can only claim that if you took it in like you said you were going to. I delivered the electronic message. Yeah. And then I blame the chat yesterday because we needed to get to like 600 likes or something, right? And they didn't do it. So I sent a message saying put Morgan Gibbs White back on the corners, and they did. Like, what more proof do you need than that? So yeah, get those petitions.
That sounds absolutely likely to me. That does.
Yeah, that sounds feasible.
So if you want to make sure that Morgan Gibbs White isn't on corners for the game against Everton, and make sure you've hit that like button because only 142 of you have, and there's 500 of you in the building. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. And I just want to go around now and just get a feel for where we are in the battle. I mean, I think I got misquoted a lot on my video today. I know we've been in a relegation battle. Yeah. The point of my video today was I'm ready to admit we're in a relegation battle. In fact, I'm ready to go one step further and say I'm shitting myself. Okay. I just want to know, where are you guys on it? We've got a poll on the community tab. We'll share that with the club. So make sure you voted on that. Do you think Forest is staying up or not? Let's keep who's not been first for a bit. And is it your turn or Crypto?
I don't mind.
Anyone, go on.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll
go. Where are you in chat? Where are you as well? Are we staying up or down? 5 games to go, as I mentioned earlier. How are you feeling now? Are you worried?
So I think we need 32 points. So if we'd have lost yesterday, I think that would have been it. Because I see our 6 points now from Sheffield and Burnley. I honestly don't think we're going to get any points from Everton, Man City or Chelsea. I mean, 1 hour away form is terrible. 2, I think Everton are a better team than us. Obviously, Man City are a better team than us. And I know Ant says Chelsea are crap, but Chelsea are, you know, eight positions higher in the league than us. I genuinely think if we get 6 points, we'll stay up. If we don't get 6 points, I think we're going down. And I think the point yesterday was actually a massive point. But I don't know. I think 32 is the checkoff point. If we don't get 3 points against Sheffield United and Burnley, or 6 points elsewhere, Sheffield and Burnley, then it's over. I just can't see us beating Everton. I just think they're psychologically more in it than we are. I don't think some of our players are quite there in terms of the passion to stay up. A lot of them are. But I don't think that enough of them are. And I just think I'm losing the will to believe. Nuno says in his pressers every week, we need to believe that we can get this done. And I'm quickly losing that belief, because if we can't even, you know, see through a win against Wolves at home and another set piece mistake, then my belief is just gone. Mark saying they don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't know. I've basically lost all faith in them. I've got about 1% left.
Wow. What are you saying then? Because I got
I'm
many.
nowhere near that state. I don't
Wait,
know
hold
where
on.
it's
Yeah, no, that's suicidal, mate.
To say something,
I'll check in on you later, Crypto.
Yeah.
I had so many WhatsApp messages saying, send this to Ant, send this to Ant. They were all the same thing. Yeah. With Nuno saying every game is a must win. With, I think it was Martin Keown. I think someone sent me the clip of Martin Keown in his analysis saying this was a must win for Forest. So I'm just
I'm glad you brought it up because I feel vindicated when Nuno's saying it and Martin Keown saying it. Why should I fear what they're saying? They're dickheads.
Because isn't Keown one of your invincibles that you love so much?
He wasn't invincible, but I'm not an Arsenal fan.
Just before you jump in on that, and let me shout out Chris.
Now.
Let me shout out Chris again for the £2. Chris, you're way too generous. Everton are a terrible team, and I think that will
Chris clip that for next week.
No, come on, guys. Everton had a little when Everton got those points back, taken from them originally. They went on a little run that gave them a lot of points in a short space of time. Since then, they've been worse than us. They have been atrocious.
Do you know where that run started, Dan?
They are a truly awful side, and I watch a lot of different content creators, and the Everton fans absolutely despise Sean Dyche. Quite rightly, as I said all that time ago, when everybody's saying we should have got him. No,
Dino.
So, yeah, but what gives you the belief we can win away from home?
That's a good question.
Where's the belief? We've won what? Is it 3 games away from home?
Are you not listening to what I'm saying? I haven't got a belief we're going to win away from home. Why should we win away from home? We don't need to win away from home. My personal belief is, of course, there's a slight concern that we could go down, but the overwhelming feeling is that the teams are even worse than we are. Luton are dire, Everton are dire, and I believe that we can get a similar amount of points as them, which will keep us out of relegation. So I'm not on here saying, we're going to win this game, win that. That's another thing. You can't do that. How many people today would have put Liverpool to lose at home to Palace, or even Arsenal to lose at home to Villa, although Villa are a very good side? How many people
and you should explain to everyone that I guessed those results correctly and you didn't.
Which one?
I don't think you did the Liverpool one, mate.
I did. I just didn't write it in the chat.
You just didn't tell anybody. You get my point. Football, as I've said many, many times, is very unpredictable. So I don't do this. We'll get 3 points there, a point there, and they're going to drop it. I never do that unless I'm forced to by you lot, because it's a fool's game, because you cannot predict football.
Well, it's gambling.
We drew at home to Man City last season. Nothing is certain. We could draw at home. I mean, I don't actually believe this, but we could draw at home to Man City this season. I certainly think we're better than Chelsea. I think we are better than Chelsea, the way they are.
I'll give you a red hot take in the words of Forest all over. Forest are going to beat Man City. I'm telling you now. I've been sitting on this feeling for about a month.
Say you were going to win 3-1.
No, I did that for the chat last time, okay? And you guys can go do one, because your Jing Serene crap doesn't work, because we didn't lose 3-1, nor did we win 3-1 yesterday. So I'm going to go back to my gut feelings. And I've been sitting on this feeling for like 2 months. Forest will beat Man City to keep the title race alive.
Can I let you into a little secret? It makes absolutely fucking no difference whatsoever what you feel.
It does.
Okay.
Tell that to the chat, Anne. Tell that to the chat, man. Right? Tell that to the chat.
So the bottom line is, I am slightly worried, but I still believe that we will stay up, but only because the other teams are shit, not because we're good.
Yeah, but as Adam said, Anne, right? Even though they are crap, where is it? Adam put a comment earlier saying they can take free kicks. Everton next week. I'm shitting this game.
Yeah. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about us against Everton because they are like one of the top free kick goal-scoring teams. And obviously, we are the worst goal-conceding teams from free kicks. So, yes, that does worry me. That's the only way they'll score against us.
Does it not also worry you that Luton have got Brentford and Luton could quite easily beat Brentford? They could quite easily beat Brentford.
I tell you why it doesn't worry me, because Luton are shit. That's why.
They're not. They've got fighting spirit.
They beat Bournemouth last week.
They've got more fighting spirit.
Something we can't do. We can't fucking beat Bournemouth.
They should not have beaten Bournemouth. Bournemouth are better than Luton. This is what I'm saying, why you can't predict things. I'm not saying that it's impossible. Nothing's impossible. But I'm not going to worry about a team that's even worse than we are. God, how bad will they be?
That's it.
I think
that's where I'll jump in.
Come on here and lie to you and say, I think
one
we're
player,
down
Ross
and we're going to
Barkley,
win every game
not
from now to the end of the season. I can do that if you want. But that's not what I feel. Let me have my own feelings. Let me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm going to right. Let me jump in. So I'm going to
have your thoughts. Not good to Rob.
Right, yeah, and not for the first time. I'm going to disagree with a couple of things that Crypto said. I don't think Everton are a better team than I don't think Everton are a better team than us, and I don't think we need to get to 32 points either. I think 30 points would be enough. Bearing in mind we've got that appeal as well, which we're probably going to get at least a point back, if not two,
or a point added on.
Yeah,
sorry, Ed,
whatever happens, I don't think.
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt. Just on that, there was some breaking news today that the appeal's not going to be next week. It's going to be the following week of the 24th. We'll do a video on it and stuff. But sorry,
so that's still in the back burner. But and you know what? This is what's upsetting me. That it's so desperate that we are going to rely on teams around us being worse. And like Ant said earlier on, this is going to be, when we said this a few weeks ago, it'll be the lowest survival points rate, however you want to say it, in Premier League history. It definitely will be this season, whatever happens, and we just need to be just above that line. Luton, they had one win in 13. We're going on about them like they're a great team. They're shit as well. We just got to be less. Why didn't we beat them,
as Cujo says? Why didn't we beat them?
They didn't beat us either, and they were at home.
Yeah, they didn't beat us either.
And we
didn't happen at the City ground either, Ant.
But we know the reasons for that. That's not fair. That's a low blow. That's not fair. We know the reasons.
And a similar thing happened in the away game. We
got beat by Everton last time as well at home.
Yes, and this is where I'm going to. I don't think the Everton game, losing the Everton game. You touched on it, Ant, because that was when their little run started. It was against us, and the game plan from Everton that day was perfect. They kept us quiet for the first half, and then they went for us. They didn't even do anything in the first half. All they did was stop us playing. And Daesh, whatever we want to say about him, he watches more of us than most fans do, so he knows exactly how we play.
But he knows our weaknesses.
Exactly what our weaknesses are.
Everybody knows our weaknesses.
Yeah. To be fair, they're so strong from set pieces that I can't see us winning that game. But I don't think losing that game is going to make the difference because they've got 7 games to play. Yes, a couple of their games in hand are against. One of them's against Liverpool, isn't it? And obviously Chelsea tomorrow. So we haven't got easy games, but I still expect them to get more than 30 points from these 7 remaining games. So I don't think we need to worry about Everton. I think the Everton game, if we get anything out of it, I'll be impressed. But I don't think.
My worry is not Everton; it's Luton. My worry is Luton.
Yes, I know. But if we can't be better than Luton, Crypto, don't we deserve to go down?
That's what I'm saying. We're probably going to go down.
Why do you think we're worse than Luton? Anyway, what's making you think that we're not going to get as many points as Luton?
I think they've got more spirit than what we're showing. I don't think we're showing enough spirit.
Spirit's not enough, but you need quality as well.
Just defend the corners. That's all.
We can't defend corners. Everything we've been doing all season
as I've said,
not been fixed.
Nuno sacked on the spot. Right? His job's on the next corner, sacked on the spot. Don't even finish the game.
We can't fix the mistakes that we know are there.
We need to put on stopping corners. It's
not going to happen, Rob. Rob,
we have hit the panic button, haven't we?
After you've just said that, Everton will go and score 5 set pieces next week.
We'll definitely score next week.
We have hit the panic button, haven't we? Didn't I say this on Friday night? If we don't win this game, we can hit the panic button, and it's been hit hard. There's some panic. So I think
everybody panicked.
what's going to happen over the next few games? I think this is going to go from being a 3-horse race to a 2-horse race, right? We have to remember that Everton are professional relegation avoiders with about 30 years experience, right? Past 3 seasons, they've been 16th, 17th, 16th again. You know, they're like the cockroaches after the nuclear blast. They will never go down, right? They are unrelegatable, and we need to stop pinning our hopes on Everton. I think we need to go all out to try and win that game because, to be honest, if Luton beat Brentford, it doesn't matter whether we draw or lose at Everton, we will be in the relegation zone. So we're going to have to win to get out of the relegation zone.
Exactly. And we're not going to beat Man City.
Hang on. Point of order. They're below us now, and you're saying if they win their next game,
yes,
we'll be in the relegation zone.
Right. Luton are currently 1 point and goal difference behind us. Whether we draw or lose at Everton, we draw. If we do not win,
you're right. You don't have to go any further. You're right.
And then we have.
This is why I'm saying that yesterday's result was. This is why I'm saying that yesterday's result was unacceptable because we've pissed away our best chance to get 3 points.
And then we have Man City and they have Wolves and it's all over. It's
exactly.
Oh, you lot are so negative, man. It's unbelievable. And you're going on about Brentford.
I'm going to come in with a bit of a rebuttal on this. How magnificent Everton are, what a fabulous side they are, and how they're going to wipe the floor with us. Everton have won 4 out of 15 games at home all season. Now, this side that's fantastic and going to wipe the floor with us have won 4 out of 15 games. Let that sink in. They've won 4 out of 15.
And do you want to rebuttal on your rebuttal?
All these fantastic free kicks, corners, set pieces. They've won 4 out of 15.
Yeah, but they're going to beat us. And you know,
get it into perspective. Just all I'm saying is get it into perspective. They're not a super team.
Do you want to rebuttal on your rebuttal?
You could try.
How many games have we won away from home?
No. I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm going to say, why are you taking it for granted that they're going to beat us?
Because I think my rebuttal.
Listen, I'm the most. I'm probably.
If you bet shit, then you're going to be a draw, isn't it?
It'll be a draw because we'll kick the can down the road again. We'll get a draw and we'll think it's enough. Then we'll look at the table and go, "Oh no, Luton beat Brentford. We're in the relegation zone."
Listen, and you're going on about why do you think Luton are going to beat Brentford? By the way, Brentford aren't that shit. Brentford
drew 3-3 away to Aston Villa last week.
Brentford started the season really well. Brentford dropped off when they lost Mbeumo and Wissa. Mbeumo and Wissa are back and they're scoring goals and they're winning games.
If you want to bring it into it.
Well, we'll be watching all these games.
We're not talking about the same Brentford.
Rob, I don't think 3-3 away to Villa last week. Just let that sink in.
They can score goals. You know, I don't have confidence in Luton beating Brentford. No chance, man.
I don't have confidence in Forest winning a match away from home.
I don't think Forest.
I understand that.
Listen, I'm the most. At best, I try to be optimistic, but I don't think we'll get anything from the Everton game. I don't think we'll get. I'll say that now. If we do a preview, I'm sure we'll do a preview. I'll tell you now. I think we'll lose to Everton because he knows our weaknesses. And he will exploit them so easily. And that's why.
So we really have no confidence in Nuno, do we? Because we think
I have no confidence in our setup.
Maneuver Nuno.
But I have confidence in
our confidence is now that whatever game plan Nuno goes with, that Dyche is going to somehow outfox him. That's how low our confidence is.
Yeah, but Rob, we know what the plan is. We know what the plan is. Get a corner. That's all Dyche's plan has to be.
Yeah, but that's all right because Nuno's going to spend all week practicing corner defense, like I've told him to.
Like we haven't spent all season doing it.
He should be told stop shooting into 2-foot goals and practice corner defense. They need to change the way that they organise to defend corners.
Yates will be giving away fouls left, right, and centre around the box.
Oh, God.
It'll be like that.
What's that game? Me, man.
What's that game show called? Like they think it's all over. Well, it is now. That's going to be us next week.
Do you know? So why don't you say we're relegated? Why don't you just say that? Go the whole hog and say we're already relegated. If we stay up, it'll be a bonus. Why don't you just say that?
They will do these namby-pamby bloody girls.
Honestly, no, man. We're not down
We
yet.
have scored
We're not
10
down
goals
yet.
more than Everton. 10 goals more, even though we're shit.
Away from home.
Don't bring
and
that sort of
we've
countering.
Probably
conceded,
scored more goals
we've
away from home. I'm
conceded
gonna have a look.
about 16 more goals as well. And for every stat you've got, there's a counter stat, man.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to be positive. That's the difference. You're automatically looking on the negative side and how bad it can be, and I'm looking on the positive side.
I'm a
and how good it
realist.
could be.
I'm a realist.
You're not a realist.
Do you
I
want
have-
a positive?
I
I'll
have-
give you a positive thing. Do you want one positive thing? I've just
Go
looked
on.
at the
No,
table.
no.
I've just looked at the table. Last 5 games in the
Uh-huh.
bottom 7. Palace 5 points. Brentford 6 points. We've got 6 points. Everton 4 points. Luton 4 points. Burnley 6 points. Sheffield 3 points. So we're joint best of the bottom. We've got
And you
6
can't count. You can't
What
count
did you do,
Palace.
Basil?
Palace
What
are
did
out
you
of
do,
it.
Basil?
Bottom 6.
Well, just to
They're the
answer
best
that
in the
stat
bottom
from Crypto as well, they've scored 16 goals at home. We've scored 17 away from home. So actually, we're better away from. We're scoring more goals away from
Be a
home. than they've
1-1
scored at
draw.
home.
Everton will be a 1-1 because it's a must and lose for both teams.
We will do. This is just a prelude to the Everton preview, which I am not
Preview
looking
to the
forward
preview,
to.
yeah.
I am not looking forward. Honestly, you guys are depressing.
Charlotte, that's not reality. That's
It
just
is,
being
it's
depressed for no
reality.
reason and not having confidence and faith in your club. We
I
will
know.
succeed.
They're not
Honestly.
they're not showing me why I should have confidence in them.
They are. Rob's just told
Only
you.
half the team. Yeah,
Rob's
but
just told you
Rob
why.
and you and Nuno out.
We are.
Only if he
concedes
concedes
You
Another
lot would
corner.
walk into the dressing room tomorrow and say, Nuno, do one, mate.
His job is safe until we let in one more
Why
corner.
is somebody
and
arguing
boom.
against Forest? That's what I don't get.
I don't know. They make me feel
It's
like
not
this.
a personal agenda against Forest you've got.
Yeah, you got a bit of an agenda there, mate.
All right, I agree with who said it, man. We need Lemmy, man. Lemmy, get in touch, man. Let me know when you're next. We need Lemmy for the Everton preview, as Mark says. Lemmy, we are not doing a preview unless Lemmy.
I don't
on.
know. Lemmy's got a bit spunky lately.
Oh,
Has
has
he?
he? now?
It was time of a month, mate.
What are we
Hey,
doing?
you filthy boys.
I agree.
Well,
Emma,
you
I
said
feel
it,
like
we
I
didn't
need a
say
therapy
spunky.
call-in session. You fuckers, you ain't coming back for another one of these. Honestly, I was
We're
on
not
the
arguing.
fence. I was
We're discussing.
turning into fear, yeah. And now you lot are sending me into full forest depression, man. I apologize to the chat, right? If you've liked the video, unlike it, because God, these lot, man.
Not depression, it's panic. It's panic. This is proper panic.
Hit the red
It's going to go
button.
to the last game of the season. Stop denying it. It's
Don't
gonna go
say
to the last
that,
game.
man. Don't say
Listen,
that.
listen. When
It may
we
not
set
even,
this
it
channel
may
up,
be fucked before then.
when we set this channel up, we said we wanted it to be real fans discussing things as if they're like.
Oh, we
in the
fucked
pub
up
with
there,
their
then,
mates.
didn't we? And off the bat.
Yeah, I know. We invited Rob.
No, hold on. And this is exactly how fans talk about the club in
And
pubs
panic.
when they're talking with the mates. They argue, they disagree. Sometimes they agree. They have different opinions. You know, it's
How
real.
about
It's
new
real.
name for the channel, Red Alert?
Wait, wasn't that like a Command and Conquer game back in the game?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good game that was.
All right,
You
listen,
know, man,
we've gone on
Conker
long enough.
game.
It's been an
I
hour
like
and a half.
Conker.
We got chatting absolute shit, and I agree with Emma. Lemmy, if you're watching, Lemmy, talk to me, bro.
Let me
Sorry,
have
We
a
are
go
getting
beard
desperate,
though.
aren't we?
He hasn't got a bit.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna go slip my wrists and do my presentation for tomorrow. And yes, this is not I'm not in my house. Thank you for all of those who have helped me with the computer. I've had to leg it to Twist's house to get on stream. Listen,
So
thank you to the
this
panel.
chat-
They're always on this chat. Whatever you think about how much of a bunch of bellends they are, at least they give
They
you
are.
their opinions and their straight talking. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to hit that like button. I don't know if there'll be a video out tomorrow because I'm stuck at work, but I would have bled
I
out.
can put one out of me having a little dance in my front room if you like.
Yeah, but I'll get reviews. I'll get reviews. Hit the like.
Yeah. Right, we're out of here, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. And fuck me, come on, you Reds. Please.
You
please.
Reds, come on.
You Reds.
You can do it.
Yeah.